If God is for us, then who can be against us? No one. Can anything ever separate us from the love of God? Does it mean that he no longer loves us if we have trouble or calamity or persecuted, hungry or destitute? And I'm going to stay right there for a minute, because I know that a lot of people are going through some difficult times. It says, if we're hungry, does it mean that God doesn't love us? If we have calamity in our lives, does it mean that God doesn't love us? If we have a family member that just went to jail, does it mean that God doesn't love us? If our cupboards are bare and all we have is peanut butter and no jelly, does it mean that God doesn't love us? If we have experienced a divorce, does it mean that God doesn't love us? If we've aborted a baby, does it mean that God doesn't love us? If we've lost our job, does it mean that God doesn't love us? If we find ourselves laying in a hospital flat on our backs with tubes coming out of us, does it mean that God doesn't love us? Can anything ever separate us from the love of God? No, it doesn't mean that God doesn't love us. Nothing can ever separate us from the love of God. Nothing. And then it says, despite all of these things, your abortions, the addictions, the persecution, the calamities, being broke, being destitute, losing your job, whatever it is, he says that out of all of these things, we have overwhelming victory. Overwhelming victory is ours because of Christ Jesus. Because let's remember why God sent his son in the first place. He didn't send his son so that we could have bling. We didn't come to Christ because we needed a house. We didn't come to Christ because we needed a car. But you know what? Too often we do, because preachers preach that kind of a gospel. They say whatever it is that you need, God's got it. Whatever it is that you want, Jesus can give it to you. If you're in lack, God can give it to you. They don't preach the pure, unadulterated gospel that you're a sinner. That's why you need Jesus. They don't tell you that the reason why you need Jesus is because you're on your way to hell. And that if it wasn't for Jesus, you would be in hell. You would be eternally separated from the Father. Let's not forget why we have this promise. Why he sent his son. What his love is about. It's not about the cars and the clothes and the bling. They tell you if you're going through, then try Jesus. Have you tried Jesus? And then when you try Jesus, you still have calamity, trouble, divorce, problems, failures, disappointments. And then as soon as these things come, then God must not love me. That's what we say. He doesn't hear my prayers. He don't love me. Because we came to Christ for the wrong reasons. He came so that we wouldn't have to die. So that we wouldn't have to suffer punishment for the wrong that we've done. He came to justify us, to give us right standing, to clean us up. So that when our Father looks at us, he can say, I love you. You're my child. You are my own. There's no worse feeling in the world as a child than when you've made a mistake and you've royally messed up. To look in the face of your parent and to feel the shame and the hurt and the embarrassment and the separation, to know that you have let your mother or your father down.